morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. I am Old Man 102 with a second two just for Twitch. Let's jump onto our desktop. We get the map open back up. Hope everyone is doing well today. At least I hope I'm opening up the right map. I had a bunch of the FS19 maps open this morning. I spent a bit of time with Papa Smurf in Discord yesterday, and I'm now converting a lot of the buildings over from 19 into 22. So I finished the road system. Road system's in, the power grid is in, the roads are underpainted. I think all the traffic splines are done. Started putting the tracks in for the monorail. Not finished yet. I got to figure out where. There's going to be some height differences because of the road system. I don't want to put bridges in going up and over the monorail tracks, and I don't want to raise the monorail tracks any higher. I wanted it to be ground level pretty much here. And I figured this was the easiest way to do the road, is going to be to do the road crossings with the train. Now I bring in the train or the monorail down, and I've got to make a left-hand turn here to go pretty much across Beach Road. And that's where I stopped because, and then I spent all morning converting buildings over from 19 to 22. So I have a lot of the beach stuff out of the Ritchieville map from 19. So I am going to, how do I want to work this? Do I have a, yep, we can use the places folder. Alright, that'll work. So let's create, let's create a new transform group. So let's go edit, cut, throw it in places, and we'll call this the beach. I finally got the background imported in, so we're going to have to put the background in as well. I'm going to get rid of all of that mess today. So that mess is going to go today. Let's grab Beach Row and see where it falls into place. If it doesn't crash. Oh, there we go. We have to do some rebuilding, but not too bad. Let's go edit, cut, throw it in the beach. Now, like I saw, the road on the other map, Ritchieville, was closer to the water than this one is. I really don't want to move this road. Alright, so we're going to pull it back. We're probably going to have to reposition some of these buildings. So we'll get it put back, and we're going to have to bring it down to the level of this map. Let me get one of the parking lines. That's going to be the easiest to line up. So let's go minus 13. Oh, minus 13 is right about there. And then how much closer do we want to pull this? Pull it up a little bit. Now, do I want to leave room for a sidewalk? Yeah, I'll probably run a sidewalk on this side so we can get a pedestrian spline in. Height looks pretty good. We'll have to adjust some of these one at a time, but this will get us close to the look I wanted. And I'm sure some of these are going to be buried in the mountain. Alright, so we're minus 13. I'm going to lift this up a minute so I can see what's buried in the mountain on this side. We have a few pieces buried in the mountain. Alright, so this guy, let's pull this guy up so I know where he is. We're going to have this guy, let's pull him up so I know where he is. We're going to have a parking line, so let's get that pulled up. We have a shed, so let's get that pulled up. What else is floating over here? Well, what else was buried in the mountain, I should say. That looks like, what happened to the, I guess the lighthouse was separate. I'll have to go back into the map and pull the lighthouse out. And then let's see what's off the map on the other side. Now, some of this was offset in the other map, so some of this we're going to have to rearrange. So what do we have over here? Oh, we have the skeleton from, we have the whale skeleton. So let me pull that up in the air so it's not buried in the mountain. Let's get this back down to minus 13. And okay, yeah, the skeletons. Okay, so I can move that guy. Now that's only, this is part of it. Oh, that'll be good because we can put, we'll have like the residential businesses, the residents pretty much on this side, and then on this side we'll put some of the businesses once I get those buildings converted, like Walmart and Lowe's and McDonald's and all the other buildings we had in 19. Let me go file, import. Let's bring in the pier set. That's going to need a little bit of adjusting once we get the water plane fixed. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. I think let's see, if we bring that down to minus 13, is it going to be too much? No, that's going to be about right. Now we just need to get it off the edge of the map. As soon as we figure out where the beach and the water plane is going to be, this needs to go a little bit lower. Let's go 13.5. Let's go minus 14. That should be a little bit better. I'll have to put some steps in here. No, we could probably go down a little bit lower. Oh, maybe not. You know, these houses will slide back. I'll fix that. We could put like a little sand ramp going up there as well. Do I have anything buried in the mountain over on this side? Some blocks, but that doesn't matter. No, let me take this back to minus 13. Where does that put me on this side? Yeah, we're going to have to put a set of steps here coming up to the beach. That's fine. Now, do I want to pull it out a little bit further? go minus 13. I'm going to pull it. It has to come down a little bit further. Now, let's work on this background. So this doesn't look like it's going to be floating in the air. Alright, so the background, the collision we need to keep. The backdrop, I'm going to delete it. The trees, they need to go. These trees need to go. Those need to go. Not sure what the light blocker does, but let me leave it for a minute. Now I'm going to take the main water plane, and we're going to go, let's go 5, no, we're going to have to go bigger than that. Let's go 10. May have to go even a little bit bigger. Well, maybe not, because we'll have some mountains out there. Now, does that put it in the water, on the water? Oh, it puts it right on the water. Perfect. And then we'll have some sand in here. Now, this is going to have to come back a little bit further. Yeah, let me pull this in a little bit. I want to get back to the main goal today was mainly to get the monorail running today. But I needed to get this fixed first. Now, is my water going to be out far enough? Probably not. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's go 15. Let's go 20 by 20. And then the mirror, we're going to have to go pretty much the same size. And we still have our border. Okay. Close places a minute. I'm going to go File, Import. I'm going to bring in the mountain. And it's going to be under up here. Let's go Edit, Cut. Let's throw it up here. Now I want to put these mountains so they're out into a little bit further out into the water, so you can see them off in the distance. And now we have to get rid of, what do we have out here? The wind turbines have to go. So I think they're part of the background. Yeah, so the wind turbines need to go. They need to go. Alright, so that's going to be our first bit of mountain in. But I'm going to push it back a little bit further. So we're going to have, no, not that far back. So we're going to have some ship splines running out here as well. Alright, let's grab this guy. And let me get some speed and some height. And I may have to pull that water plane back in a little bit. We'll see what it looks like in game. So let me duplicate this guy. And we're going to turn out. Alright, we're going to turn him carefully. He's not going to turn very easily, is he? Why do they do that? Let's go edit, cut. Let's bring it out of the transform group. And let's see if I can turn it now without it going all kind of goofy on me. Yeah, that's going to be better. So let's take it to 0 minus 180 for now. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it up a little bit. So basically I just want some background mountains out in the water. Now let me see if that'll fall back into place. Is this centered at 0, 0? No, this is at minus 80. Crap. That's going to mess me up a little bit. Let's see if I can get this back in place. If not, I'll put these in their own transform group. Yep, it did move on me a little bit. How does that look? Oh, way in further. Alright, that may not be too bad. I want to pull it in a little bit more. And then we'll go and get, once we get this in place, before we finish Beach Row, I want to, I'm going to go in game and take a look to make any last minute adjustments. I think I want to pull these in a little bit further. I don't know if I don't know what the clip distance is. I don't know if we're even going to see them from in game. Alright, let's try that again. Will it let me move it, or am I going to have to take it out of the transform group if I duplicate it? So let me duplicate that one. Let's try and spin it again. If it goes all kind of wonky, then I'll have to pull it out of the transform group and move it. So if we want to turn this one, yeah, it's going to go wonky. Alright, let's go edit, cut, and paste. Alright, now let's get it kind of where we want it. And let me duplicate that one more time first, while it's outside of the transform group. So we're going to want another one kind of over this way. And we'll probably put a couple in the center a little bit. But let's get this guy. Edit, cut, and paste. Alright, he's got to come in. He's got to come in some more. And then this guy, let me duplicate him one more time. Let me push this one out for now. Grab this one. Now, how far. Alright, so let's pull this guy in and back. Now let's take this guy, and I'm going to push one of them out a little bit further. This guy I think we're going to bring in. Kind of at a weird angle, so I'm going to try and get something in the corner a little bit. Ignore that one out there for now. Yeah, ignore that one for now. Let's take this one. Now bring it in. Close. Let's take him, pull him down a little bit. Still too far out. Actually, this one has to come in a little bit more. Let me pull him in even a little bit further. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit better. Alright, now this guy. Ooh, I'm off the map. There we go. Yeah, this guy's going to have to come in as well. Nikki Fizz, good morning. Actually, I was going to move that one, but I like it out there in the distance. Let's get a couple more out in the distance. And I may just leave them outside the transform group because they're working well. Let's duplicate that one. Let's get it spun this way. And let's get another one way out in the distance on this side. And we'll see how that looks. Come back closer to map level. And now we got to get one or two more in. And then we'll see what they look like. I still think this one's out too far. Let's get it in a little bit closer. And then this guy here too. Look, that one needs to come in a little bit further. Pull him in. Yeah, now let's grab this guy. This one, maybe we'll pull this guy up a little bit further. And then something back there. Let's grab that one again. And pull him down. Now, boat splines will get in, but that's not a project for today. Our beach is going to be up on this side. Let's do a save, and we'll see what this looks like in game and see if it's going to throw any errors. Other than a shape file format with a warning, which is fine. Let's jump in. FS22. Before I spend, I'm not going to finish the beach area today. I just want to get I rough it in, a good idea of where it's going to be, so I can finish the monorail. So let's grab a new save. I'm going to turn this on so I can see my errors, and then I'm going to deselect everything except for the Easy Dev tool. So none of the mods will load. Well, they'll load in the background, they won't load in. Alright, we definitely have an i3D error. Alright, I gotta figure out what that is. Alright, those warnings for the BGA we can ignore because I didn't put the BGA in the map yet. What were those? i3D on create user attribute night illumination is depreciated. Please use visible condition tab. But what is it? i3D on create. User attribute night illumination. Alright, we got to figure out what I imported in has night illumination in it. So let's get, we're not even going to jump on the map. Let's get out of here. Alright, so something that I brought in has a user attribute to it. So it's not the mountains. It's got to be something. Oh, that's going to suck because well, no, let's do it the easy way. Let's go into the file. So if we go into beach decor, let's pull, no, beach decor we didn't import in yet. The beach pier we did. Let's look at the beach pier, see if it has a user attribute in it. We have night illumination on create. Was that our, it's probably the lights. Night illumination. Alright. So it doesn't like the lights from the pier. Alright. Let me see if the other one has lights. We brought in beach row. Let's look at that and see if it has user attributes. It does. So I got to get rid of all of the night illumination on it. And it wants us to replace it with visibility condition. So let's jump back in here a minute. Alright, so let's go into places. Where were you? Not the core. Alright, let's just do it this way. Places. Alright, so the beach and beach row. Alright, I'm going to do this a little bit. We're going to do this a little bit easier. Let's go File, Export Selection with File. So I'm going to override beach row. And I'm going to delete that out. We're going to take the beach. We're going to go File, Export Selection with Files. And it was the pier. And let's delete that out. So now we're going to go into here. New buildings. Crap, where did I import them into from? Alright, we'll do it this way then. Let's go into here. And let's open up beach row. Oh, now I gotta fix all the textures again. I think it's textures and then shaders. I messed this up. I forgot to import it into the map before I imported it into the i3D. No, this is going to be, these are going to be just shaders. Yeah, I completely messed, 3 hours worth of work this morning, I just effed up. Wayne's Gaming, good day. Well, it was a good day up until about 5 minutes ago. And I just effed up my import into the map. Let me fix all these texture paths. Let me fix the sound. Now let me fix this. Alright, so we're going to go up to here. We're going to go search, replace. We're going to replace that with just textures. Replace all. Alright, let's close that. Let's save that. See if it'll open up now without any errors. This was beach row. Yeah, hopefully it's an easier fix. I had to convert all the textures over from cool, so there's no errors in the log. Alright. So let's go File, Import, Documents, My Games. No, I don't want to import it in yet. Let's close it a minute. So beach row, we have to get rid of all the user attributes for the night illumination. So all of these user attributes for night illumination we have to delete because it's different in 22. So here, that I don't need. Alright, so these we're going to get rid of. And I'll put lighting in a different way. I didn't know if these were going to throw errors until we actually got them in the map. So let's delete them out. We'll save that and close. I'm not going to close it. Let's open it back up and see if it's going to throw errors. No errors. Okay. So the beach row is fixed. Let's open that back up. Let's go File, Import. I have to import it into the map. Documents, My Games, 4X, Maps, Map US, New Buildings. This is going to be Beach Row. Save that. Beach. Oh, come on, really? I see your latest vid on YouTube. I didn't realize you played Banished as well and use the same mod I do. I love Mega Mod 9. Alright, File, Export Selection with Files, Documents, My Games, Farm Sim 22, Mods, 4X, Maps, Map US, New Buildings. Let's try that again. Beach Row. Save. There we go. Let's close this one. Alright, now let's go into... We have to fix... Oh crap, that means all the textures for the mountains are messed up too. Because I forgot to import it in. Using MegaMod 0.006. I don't know what version I'm on, but I know it's MegaMod 9. Let's go into here. So Beach Row, let me open it up. Alright, so all the textures should have came in. Let's close that one. And the only thing I have to bring over is I have to bring the sound over. Oh, it did bring the sound over. That's unusual. I'm going to have to go in and fix the mountain textures. And then let's fix the pier. Yeah, this is all messed up now too. Alright, let me fix this one for the shaders. And then I'll fix the textures. I love the mod. It replaced about 30 mods for me. Yeah. The only mod I load with Banished is MegaMod 9. I don't load anything else with it. Fix that. Let me fix this. And then these are going to be search, replace. And that should fix my textures. It does. Let's save that. We have to get rid of the user attributes for the night illumination. So all of these have to go. Delete that. Let's save it. And open it up, make sure it's not going to throw any new errors. Oh, we should be fine. Let's go File, Export. This one's going to be Beach Pier. Close this copy. Go back into here. So Beach Pier should have all its correct textures. Alright. So let's go back into the map. Let's try that again. File, Import. Let's bring Beach Row in. And then I want to go up to places. We're going to go edit, cut. Going to be our beach. And I'm going to go file, import. Let's bring the pier back in. And we're going to go edit, cut, and paste. I pulled these right out of the Ritchieville map from FS19, and I spent about 3 hours converting them on fixing all the textures this morning. I have others I loaded with the Mega Mod. Okay, yeah, I run just the Mega Mod. 1018, good morning. I play the very large map with the all Wild Adam and Eve starting conditions. That's rough. I'm about ready to wrap up the Banished series. Couple more episodes and it's going to get wrapped up. All right, let me do a save. I got to fix the mountain textures because I completely messed them up. Let me do a save. Let me do a close. Let me open up the i3v with Notepad++, and I got to fix. I'm gonna have to fix one of the texture paths that I messed up. Yeah, right here. Alright, so this one should be just shaders. I'll make sure I have the placeable shader in the folder. This one is just textures. This one is just textures. And this one is just textures. Let me save that. I gotta make sure I have the placeable shader. Just make sure nothing else is messed up. Yep, this is. The farmhouse is messed up. I can't fix that right now. I'll fix that off camera. Let me close the map. I need to make sure the placeable shaders, so new buildings, shaders. I have to make sure the placeable shaders in here, and it's not. Shaders, placeable shader. Let me copy that one over to here. All right. Now let's try this again. Let's open this up with FS22. No, you have to keep going. I'm enjoying this series. I took a very long break from FS19 and making of the auto drive for and the making of auto drive. Yeah, I tried playing FS19 on. I have the YouTube series started on it of the Hidden Lakes map. There's just way too much off-camera work involved for me to keep that series on, because I got about an hour of off-camera work between episodes, and it's just too time-consuming right now. Let's deselect everything. Let's grab just the Easy Dev tools, and let's see if that gets rid of all of our warnings and errors. Nope. Alright, so we still have something to fix. Alright, the BJ throwing an error is fine because it's not in the game yet, or it's not in this map yet. What is throwing? Fail to error. Let's see, what am I missing? Shaders, placeable shader. I have the shader in there. Oh, it's new building. Hold on. I have the path wrong. Alright, okay, so let's Control Alt Delete out of here. Let's pull this up. And I got to go to... Alright, I know what I have to fix. Let's open up the map again. I know what I did wrong. Let's grab the placeable shader XML. Let me do a Control C. Let's go in here. Control find, Control V, find. Alright, it's not that one. This one. Alright, I gotta fix these four up here. But I need new buildings, backslash. Let me copy that. Let's come back up here. Where was that? Where was that? Right here. I've got to put that in here. I've got to put that in here. There. And there. That's the path I need. So let me save that. I believe it's new buildings textures. And then new buildings shader. Oh, it's textures European. Let me copy this. Back to here. Oh, I have European in there. Alright, we should be good. So that's saved. Let's close that. Let's try this one more time. You know, once I get so far with Banished, usually about 1,000 people in my village, my computer doesn't run it very well. Let's throw this back on. Let's jump back in here. Deselect all. Yeah, this is taking a little bit longer than I expected, only because it's still not right. Why is that still messed up? Why is my texture path wrong? Because I don't know if I brought them into the... okay, I know what I did. We just got to bring that texture over into the file. It should be the last time I have to get out of here. So we're going to be missing 3 textures. Background, background, and backdrop. So let's come into here. New buildings, textures, European. I need new building, textures. Nope. Textures, European. I need backdrop, backdrop. What was the other one? Background mountain, and backdrop. Background mountain, and backdrop. Let's copy those into here. Oh, come on. Alright, now we should be alright. Not saying it's going to be alright, but I said we should be alright. Let's see if we can get it to open this time without all those missing textures. It really is time consuming to to convert all these over from 19 to 22, but I want this map to have more of the original Ritchieville look to it. Oh, still missing a texture. Missing one texture. I thought I had them all fixed. So let's hard crash the game one more time. Let's jump. So which texture am I missing now? Just one. New buildings textures, European. Backdrop specular. I need backdrop specular. Oh, it missed it up here. Let's copy that one over. That should be our last missing texture. I said that last time. I'm back. Stupid phone died on me. Oh, you didn't miss much. I tried and failed one more time. I think I have all the textures now. I was missing one more texture. But like I was saying, the converting the stuff over from 19 to 22 is a pain in the butt to get all the textures and shaders fixed and shapes. But it's going to be well worth it. It's going to take a lot more time to build this map, but I want it to have that Ritchieville look to it. Oh, on your last post. Took a long break from FS19 making of the auto drive for Ritchieville. I still play FS19. I have a series going on the Hidden Lakes map on YouTube, but like I was saying, it's really, really time consuming because I have to do a lot of off-camera work to keep it running. Alright, I think we're good. Let's jump in here. Let's see what the beach looks like. We'll see what the mountain backdrop looks like. Let's grab ourselves a truck. What color do we want today? Let's go to a nice bright orange. Now, I don't have my vehicle shop in yet. It's kind of sort of like right here in the middle of the field. Ooh, I like those background mountains. Let's see if they're too close, if I want to push them out a little bit further. Let's head straight down to the beach. We may push these mountains back out a little bit further. And then all these houses have to get moved a little bit. See what our piers look like. I'm going to want to move that road. Alright, so that... Okay, so that has to get pulled back. Let me go into flight mode. Alright, so these stairs... So this whole rock wall's got to be pulled back, so those stairs are on the sand. Well, this will be painted sand color, so this has to come back. And then I may curve this road coming in closer to the... I don't want this much wasted space between the road and the beach. Now this pier is going to have to come in a little bit further. I do like the mountains as the background. Let me grab a little bit of speed. So we can fly around a little bit faster. So the piers are going to have to come in a little bit. I'm going to spin the town around so it's backed up to the beach instead of the map. Let's come up here and see what the mountains look like on this level. Let me just hit the edge of the map real quick. Yeah, I love the mountains in the background. Let's get out of here. Let's change up a couple things. Now that we know it's loading without any errors. Watching your series on Richie Vales, I can't figure out how to get the people to produce. Watching your series on Ritchieville, as I can't figure out how to get the people to produce. The workers. You're asking about the workers? You'll be getting back to the official auto drive courses for Ritchieville. Nice. Can't get the people to produce. Are you talking about the workers themselves? So let's go back into Map US. Let's open this back up. Now that I have all the textures fixed. Yes, the workers. They need gold, food, and water. So you have to go over to where you produce the workers, and there should be the little icon to pull up the global company menu. And once you pull up the global company menu, you'll see what they need. I think food, I know coffee is one of them. I can't remember which ones the other ones are. But there's a few different foods that they need. Well, there's one of a few different foods they need. Some water and a little bit of gold. And then they spawn in at the bus stops. And then you have to take the bus and pick them up from the bus stop and then deliver them to whatever factory needs them. Alright, so this guy has to come in a bit. This has to come back. How much further do I want to come back? Let me take my speed down. Let me just pull it in. Yeah, let's pull it in. Now I'm going to have to adjust the height again. But I want to make sure that we're going to be floating above the water a little bit. I can't move the water plane. Let me pull this in a little bit further. That'll work. And then what I think I'm going to do is I got to fix this and straighten it up and move a couple things around. But this will get me close to where I want it. And now I'm going to take this guy, and this is going to be a chore. I want this guy, I want this whole row of houses facing the other way. So I want my businesses between the road and the bridge, because that's where I'm going to need to run the monorail. Let's change that to 0, and let's pull it this way. Let's pull it. Let's come up here. Let's line. I'm gonna have to slide all of these forward individually. That's fine. Now, how close to the? Okay, and it even puts it on the side of the road with the telephone poles. That's even better. I can run a sidewalk along here. So this is not set in stone where it's going to be, but it's closer to where it's going to be. Now I can bring that house down and fill that gap up. I can probably delete those. This gets me closer to what I want. And then, because in Ritchieville the road curved, went back, and then went out this way. So I'm going to pull, I'll do it off camera, I'm going to slide all these out individually so they're lined up straight across. That'll give us some beach stuff behind them. And then I'm going to have to take part of the mountain out on either one side or the other to put a sand mine in. Alright, now I can figure out, now I can guesstimate where my monorail is going to go. Let's do another quick save. Yes, they're produced. Is that the bus? Yeah, so I think there's, 6 or 8 bus stops on the map where you have to pick the workers up at. I haven't played any of the, other than the Hidden Lakes map, I haven't played FS19 in about well over a year. I haven't produced workers or moved workers around on a bus in a very long time. Alright, now, before I get the exact location of where I want the monorail, I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop. That's going to be number 8. What are you? I can close that one. I can close that one. Alright, let's go into My Games, FS19. I want to go into, which map do I want to go into? I want to go into the Valley map. Let's go into Hidden Lake. Maps. It's been a while since I've opened up a, where's my map i3D? It's not there. It's under Maps. It's not there. Map essay. It's not there. Where the heck's my map i3D? Map essay. Gotta open it up with the FS19 version of the editor. I have the auto drive already set up for the buses to all the stops on the Ritchieville map. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Will the bus load with the auto drive routes, or do you have to manually load the bus with the workers? I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long since I played on that map. Oh, you know what? I don't think this map has Walmart. I wanted to grab Walmart as a placeholder so I know exactly where to run the monorail, but I don't know if this map has Walmart in it. I may have to open up the other map. I'm not sure. I didn't know how to produce the workers until now. All right. All right. Does this map have Walmart on it? I think it does. It does. All right. We're going to grab Walmart. Probably going to have to delete the lights out after I export it. And we're going to have to replace them with the 22 lights. Let's go File, Export Selection with Files. I'm going to go Desktop, New Folder 8. Go Walmart. Save it. And we'll close this. That's all I want for now. So New Folder 8. We're going to need this file. Let's open this up. How to use the EasyDevMob to get workers when I was testing some of the things. Yeah, that definitely comes in handy. Alright, so common files, textures 5. Textures 5. Let's copy that into here. We're going to rename it just textures. And we're going to come into here and we're going to do a search and replace just to textures. Oh cool, there's no shaders to mess with. This may be a little bit easier. So let's save that. Alright, let's open it up now with the FS22 version of the editor and see what kind of errors it's going to throw. As a mob and map tester for the EasyDevs has become my best friend. Absolutely. So the only warning we're getting is the old shapes file, which is fine. That's not an issue. So let's go 0, 0, 0. Let's take a look at this guy. Alright, now, these lights are not going to work in 22. Let's leave them in there for now. Let's put it in game, and we'll see if it's going to throw an error. Let me see if there's any user attributes in here for the lights. And I'll delete them out before you put them in the game. Yeah, so this night light on creates not going to work. The sun and mire on creates not going to work. These are FS19 user attributes. Let's get them out of there. This way it won't throw an error. And we'll save that. Let's close this. See if now, and make sure we open it up and it's going to be fine. Let's go back to 0, 0, and 0. What error? So we only have the warning for the shapes file. I think we're fine. Let's save this. Let's go File, Export Selection with Files, Documents, My Games, Forex, Maps, New Buildings, Walmart. Save that. Close that one, close that file. Now, in my map file, let's go back to, how many files do I have open? Just the one. So, My Games, let's go back into 22. So, I'll catch up on chat in 1 second. Maps, Map US, New Buildings, Walmart. brought all the textures over. Let me just open it up in the game file, make sure it's not going to throw any new errors. Oh, we should be good. And then let's come in here. And I'm going to go File, Import. Let's bring Walmart in for a minute. Oh, it's not going to go on there. I was really hoping it was going to fit between the road and I swear I want to move this road. I want to move these houses so they're closer to the beach. I swear I want to move this road. Which means I'm going to move the power grid. And the underpainting. I'm going to have to grab one other building. So I know where to put the freaking monorail in. Alright, so is Walmart going to look out of place if I spin him back around this way to 90? Will he fit in here? No, he's not even going to fit in here. Will it fit this way? No, it's not even going to fit in there this way. Well, I wanted this to be the retail area. Let me scale Walmart back down to 1 by 1. See if that's going to help me any. Can I squeeze the Walmart in here? Not that way. If we turn it back this way so the signs are, I might be able to squeeze it in this way. So we back him right up to the beach. Yeah, because I can get rid of this parking along this side. I hope I can get rid of this. Can I get rid of these? I can. These houses will have to move. That's going to put Walmart sitting sideways. I may not put Walmart in this map because it's definitely not fitting in the way I need it to. Are these guys? No, they're all 1i 3D, so I can't move I can't like slide the buildings around. I'm going to end up moving this road. I've already known. I've been a mod tester for modders for FS since 13, and Papa Smurf has the first modder to have me test mods back then. I was on Discord with Papa Smurf for a few hours yesterday. Yeah, this Walmart is definitely pissing me off. Well, oh crap, I didn't want to do that. Let me grab the whole transform group. I didn't plan this out. So if I flip this guy back this way, we go to 90. Where does that put him? Actually, that may work because he can come right out to the road. So I bring him right out to the road. We won't have too much parking in front of him, but that's fine. Why does it put it on this side? I'm going to have to push this pier back a little bit further. Actually, I could push this wall back a little bit further. Let's look at the beach. Let's push this guy back a little bit further to accommodate Walmart. That should do it. That may do it. I know it's sitting on top of other houses. That's fine. They're going to move anyway. So Walmart will be the center point for coming down the main road. And actually I can line his parking lot up right with the entrance to this road. So you can go straight in as your sell point. And then I'll move these houses so we'll have Beach Row along this side, Beach Row along this side. I'll move all those houses around. And now on this side is where I wanted all the businesses. Walmart's not going to fit on this side, but it was a bigger building. Let's see if Lowe's is going to fit. Lowe's is a hard conversion. Let me do a quick save. Let me grab like McDonald's or a Wendy's out of the other map. And let's give that a quick convert. I'm gonna use new file 8. So let's go back into, let me just open up another folder. Let's go Documents, My Games, 19. We can go into, I want to go into Valley, no, I want to go into Hidden Lakes. That's the zipped version. Homestead. That's a map I never finished. I thought this one was Hidden Lake. That's the Valley map. Ritchieville Prairie Lake. Lake Valley is one I didn't finish. Islands, Homestead Hollow, Hidden Lake. I am completely blind. Let's open this up again, but with the FS19 version of the editor. I just need to get 1 or 2 commercial buildings in so I know where to run the monorail tracks. Let's come over here and we'll grab McDonald's, we'll grab KFC. Are they both together? Oh cool, they're both together. So that's going to be a little bit easier. I'll just have to take the lights out after I export them. Let's go File, Export Selection with Files. We're going to go Desktop, New Folder 8, and let's go MCD and KFC. So that should have pulled it out of the map. So new folder 8. We have to pull this back down to here. Oh, I may not have got all the textures. I did. Alright. Let's go View. Let's grab all the textures. I'm going to cut them out of there. We're going to throw them into here. Make sure they're all the same. They are. So let's come back into here. Let's go KFC. Alright, we're going to have to fix all the dollar data ones. So I can replace all of these with textures. Is that the same all the way down? It is. Let's do a replace all. Alright, now we're going to need a couple shaders and some shared items, which I should have over here. So we're going to grab the shaders, we're going to grab the shared folder. Let's copy those over to here. These are just temporary folders that I'm going to delete when I'm done converting. But I like to convert them on my desktop because it doesn't mess the textures up inside of the map. So I pulled all the FS19 textures out this morning. So let's go back into here. So all of these I should have now. American. So let's go search, replace. I can replace those. I can replace the European. Those should be converted over. This one should be in the shared folder. This should be in the shaders folder. This one should be in the shaders. And that one should be in the shared. So let's save that. I'm sure we're going to have night on create issues to deal with. We do. And we have season admirers. Let's get rid of those. They don't work in 22. So delete those out. Let's save that. Let's see how many errors this is going to throw. Okay, so we definitely have textures to fix. We have a building shader that is, I opened it up with the wrong one. We need to open this up with 9.03. I opened it up with the 19 editor, not the 22 editor. And we still have issues. We're missing textures. So what are we missing? We are missing, can I minimize that? No, I cannot. So let's grab this folder. We'll open up textures. Let's grab this folder. We'll open up textures. What am I missing? Textures, European. I need building array, diffuse, normal, and specular. So I need building array, diffuse, normal, and specular. Let's copy those into here. So those textures are fixed. The props. Alright, European props. You know what? Since I'm going to delete this folder anyway, let's just grab the entire props folder. So that should come over. Missing. Oh, I know why. Let's come over to here. Shaders. No, it has the shared. Missing. Well, let's fix. Let this reload with the fixed textures, and then we'll see what else we're missing. So let's go back to not that one. That's the map. I want new folder 8, which should be this one. Let's reopen this and see what the new errors are. Yeah, it's a royal pain to convert these from 19 to 22. You got to fix all these shader errors and all these New folder, shaders, morning, missing texture. So building shader. Shaders. You may be the older version of the building shader. Let me pull up the newer version of the building shader. Oh, wrong one. This one. Uh, Shaders. What building shader is this one? Nope, it's the same one. So why is the building shader working on one building but not the other building? Let's copy this one back over to here. Let's overwrite it just in case it's different. I should have everything in my shared folder that's in this shared folder. So why am I getting errors with KFC and McDonald's that we didn't get with Walmart, and it's the same building shader? Why can't I load these textures? European props, because they're probably not in there. Oh, American props and European. Why are we missing shaders? But let's open up building shader. So it's telling me it doesn't have. So it's telling me. Oh, wrong one. Missing texture. I don't even see it in here. Missing texture in building shader XML. Alibo normal glossity missive map. So why did it work for Walmart? It's not working for this one. And it worked for the buildings I converted earlier today. I may not convert these and just run the monorail and work around it. Buildings material array. I'm wondering if it's the lights. Hold on. Let me close that a minute. Let's jump in here. Let's zero this out for a minute. Now, where is it? It's over here. It may be these lights giving us a hard time because these lights are from FS19. I'm going to delete all of these lights. And then we're going to save it and see if that gets rid of our shader error. So I only have the buildings without the lights. Let's save that. Let's close it. Let's open it back up. And we'll see if we still have building shader errors. Gonna make a you're gonna make a common files folder for if the map file starts to get too big, yes. Alright, so we got rid of a few of the errors. Missing texture normal. Missing texture gloss. For shaders, building shader XML. Building shader. Why is this building shader still giving me a hard time? Shaders. Building shader. And the error is has the wrong type, use 2D instead of 2D array. So I think if we take the array off, see what that does. Let's save that. I can always undo it. And then it wants missing normal and gloss. Let's go back to shared. I don't see a gloss. See? Let's close that and reload it now that I changed the wording of the shader. Nope, still missing texture. Where? Missing texture normal, missing texture gloss, and building materials array. So it doesn't like these here. So if I block these out for a minute and save it, what kind of error is it going to throw now? So let's close this and reopen it. So now I only get the normal map file reference 1 not found in i3D files section. So we're down to one error. Oh, and it just crashed. So it doesn't like that error. I'm going to mess around with this off camera. I need to get the monorail built. That was the whole purpose of normal map file reference 1 not found in i3D files section. Normal map file. I'll mess around with this off camera. Let's get back into just getting, I'm just going to put the monorail in and I'm just going to work around it. So I want the I think we're just going to run the monorail along the bridge. And we'll put the residents on the beach side. We'll put the businesses on the bridge side of Beach Road. And then I'll just work, as I convert them over, we'll get this fixed. So I'm going to come back to my monorail. I'm going to grab one of these for now. Let me duplicate it. Spin it this way to 90. And let's figure out where this is going to go. So if we come out this way, I think I'm just going to run it along the bridge, somewhere in here. And it'll just, well, the problem is I need to have enough room for businesses. I have a feeling I'm going to end up moving this road. But so this guy's going to need to run somewhere in. Gonna get 22 soon here as Night Cop and a few others want me to test their F20. Nice. I'm still not a fan of 22. Alright, let's grab our curve. Let me duplicate that and slide it down. And it will figure out where this guy's going to go. So it's got to go back this way to 0. So this section has to come out. That section has to come out. That section has to come out. That section has to come out. And then probably that section. And I should be able to fit this curve in there. My curve zeroed out it is. So if I butt you up here, it's off by a little bit. Let's go 2.5, close, 2.4. And then if I pull, that's going to put this guy too close to the bridge. Well, maybe not. Let's see where it lines up at. May have to stretch this out a little bit. So that puts him here, which puts him where? That, you know what? That will probably work. That'll give me more room, since it's closer to the bridge, that'll give me room to put the businesses in there. That will actually work. My whole goal today is to get the monorail running, and I don't know if it's converted properly from 19 to 22, and I won't know until we get all the monorail tracks in and the train spline in. Myself personally have heard too many complaints from lots of people about 22, very buggy, not worth getting until Giants gets off their butts. And I just don't like the factory script from. I personally just don't like the FS22 version of the factory script. I really wish Giants would have went with Global Company instead. Alright, this pile has to come down some more. As I really wish they would have just stuck with Global Company. Alright, so that should be good there. So let's get this monorail finished so we can get one of the splines in. Well, this is only half of the monorail. I want to get this in. We can get one spline in because I'm going to have to do a lot of adjusting to get the monorail working in game. Global company works awesome and really easy to work with. I absolutely hate the new factory script with a passion. I hate that one factory can auto distribute to the other factories. I think it's a lazy way of playing. So how did we fare over here on the road? Find out here in a second. Well, not too bad. We just got to move this guy over a little bit. So let's pull this guy back a little bit further. We'll pull this guy back a little bit further. Right, not bad. Gets us the spacing we need. Oh, I missed that. I was way off on that one right here. Now, how far back are we going to go before we get our curve? So let me grab, close that. Let's close that. Close that. Where is my, right there. Let's grab this guy and slide it over. And we'll figure out where this guy is going to go. Alright, so he's going to have to go this way to minus 90. Let's get him lined up with the track. That's about perfect. Let me turn my speed down a hair. Yeah, that's about perfect. He's going to come back just a little bit. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. That's fine. We got to move him out that way anyway. I just want to bring him over just a hair. That's better. So now he's lined up that way. How far back this way do I want it? We're going to put him here-ish. Now, can I get one more length in there? That looks about right. Oh, maybe not. Well, we'll pull this guy. We'll pull the curve back a little bit. Oop, where did he go? Right there. Oh, that should work. Let's grab this section. I know part of the monorail is going to be running under the ground, but I'm going to change the ground height. And I can't do that until I actually get the monorail in the game. Alright, that looks good. Now, where do we come across over here? So I'm going to have to pull this guy up a little bit further. Alright, let's grab one more section. So we'll have one of the monorails will be running north, one of the monorails will be running south. Let's grab this curve. He's got to come up this way. And now he goes this way to 0. Now I got to line him up with two different places. And this gets a little hairy sometimes. So he goes, oh, let's get that fixed. So is it this bottom one? Nope, it's the top one. Which way? Right about there. Perfect. So I got to get him lined up there, and we got to get him lined up here. So that one I'm going to have to stretch out a little bit longer. Let's see what I got to do over here to get this guy lined up. Oh, pretty close. Alright, so this guy we're going to have to make a little bit shorter, not much. 0.9, okay, that's the width, so it's the top number. 0.9, oh, what did I just do? Oh, 0.9 is too small. Let's go 0.95, 6, 7, 8, 0.994, nope, 3, 3, 5, that works. Now this, oh, he's still not lined up right. That's all right. I'll readjust him. This one we're going to have to stretch out a little bit longer. So this guy's going to have to go a little bit longer. So 1.1. Ooh, just about perfect. And then this guy's going to have to come down this way a little bit further. Why am I not? There we go. Let's try that again. So this guy's got to come down a little bit further this way. And then what does that do over here? That puts my gap in this guy. So this guy, we're going to take back to 1. Oh, almost perfect. 1.01. Nope. 1.002. No, 1. That's close enough. So that gets our first loop in. Let's go through. Let's flatten the mountain out over here. Flatten the mountain out a little bit right there. And then let's go down here. Oh, I think we got to flatten the mountain out down here a little bit. Actually like it. It gives me a choice. I can always set to store and then spawn out and truck it to the next destination. Yeah, I'm just personally just not a fan. And I think it's more so because we couldn't do buildables. Now, I don't know how it's going to work with Silver Run. I'm hoping we can get that scripting to do buildable factories out of the Silver Run DLC. I'm sure somebody will crack it. Alright, so let's come over here. Towards the center. So I'm going to start my monorail over here close to the home. Oh, excuse me, close to the home farm. Saw DodgeNet doing a buildable a few days ago since Silver Run got released. Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of the scripting. I talked to Papa Smurf yesterday. Papa Smurf didn't have it, but I'm almost positive we can get a hold of the scripting for the buildables, and then we should be able to use it. All right, so let's save that. I need to go into Farm Sim 22. And we need to open up Angel Mountain. No, I don't need to open up the map. Placeables. Train system. This I'll mess around with off camera. Let me close that. That, I'm going to close that. Okay, so Train 1. Train 1 has all of our radio callers and all of our crossing signals. I'm going to open this, well, let me cancel that a second. I'm going to open up a second folder real quick. I'm going to go to Documents, My Games, Farm Sim 22, Mods, the new 4X map, Placeables. Do I have a train system in here? I do. Oh, I already pulled the train in. Nope. I don't have the train 01. Alright, we're going to open this up. This should be, let me make it, oh, this should be our, should have the spline. There it is. Okay. So this is the spline for our train. It has all the radio callers and all the everything I need in it. So I'm going to go File, Export Selection with Files, Documents, My Games, Mods, 4X, Placeables, train system. This is going to be Train 01. And we'll save that. And we'll close this. We won't make any changes to it because I don't want to mess up the train in the Angel Mountain map. Alright, so now that I have Train 01 in here, there shouldn't be any texture issues. There's not. Alright. So let's go back in here. Let's go File, Import, Train 01. Now, this has to be all zeros. The spline we're going to replace, and then I'm going to leave all the crossing signals in, and and then we'll move them. We'll delete the ones we don't need. We'll move them around as we need them. So I'm going to leave them just floating in the middle of the air where they are for now. I'm not going to worry about crossings right now. I just want to get the train in and running because I'm going to have a lot of work to do to get the monorail adjusted to the width of the tracks and to the height of the tracks. So once I'm able to actually spawn the monorail into the game, I'm going to be in and out of the editor about 100 times to get the train fixed. So let's go create. Let me make sure the spline doesn't have any user attributes. It doesn't. All right, let's go create a new spline. And I'm going to go edit, cut. It has to be in here. And then I got to move it all the way up. Unfortunately, it's got to be on top of all of the signals. And then we won't even get to the crossing signals and railroad collars or any of that today. I know. So this one I'm going to delete the old spline. This one we're going to call it spline 01. And then that spline is going to go right here. Right in the center of the tracks. Try and get it as centered as I can. It doesn't matter at this point what direction it's going to run. Let's grab the end. And let's start getting this spline put in so we can get all the XML work done to get the train even in the map. And then once I get it in the map, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get it adjusted perfect. I'll be going back to working on FS19 next week. Have the official course done before December. Yeah, I just don't have time to play. I would definitely be back on FS19, but I just don't have the time. Let me take my speed down. We gotta go around this curve. Once I get the monorail in, we can start working on mining. Because I want to have these monorail run through the triggers for the mine. So you'll be able to load the monorail right from the mines and right from a silo. So we'll have a silo running through the monorail. I have to head out now, buddy. It's almost time for me to start work here. All right, thank you for stopping in. Much appreciated. I'll be on. I'm off of work because it's a holiday weekend, so I'm off today. I'm off Saturday and Sunday. So I plan on spending as much time as I can working on this map today and the next 2 days. caught up on YouTube stuff for the most part. Okay, I gotta remember not to tug on the green one because the green one lifts it up off of the ground. Now I gotta try and get this guy centered again. As close to the center as I can. That looks pretty good. Let's pull him down to this end. Still centered? Yeah, let me throw a point in there. So now I can get him down to this curve. Let me take my speed down. We'll get around this corner. All right. I know. I was talking to Papa Smurf yesterday. He is working on an update to the autoload trailer, so they will stop throwing those Lewis scripts. I know it's in testing. I did not get a chance to talk to him about the carrots on the T440 pack. Now let's get this guy back in the center. Alright, we should be able to pull him across. Take my speed up. How centered are we? I don't want to flatten that hump out because I don't want to take my cursor off of this guy. So I got to come back. We'll come back and flatten that hump out a little bit. Well, I'm going to have to cut the monorail into the ground a little bit anyway. Alright, 2 curves down, 2 to go. We're about halfway around. get around this turn. And we'll probably have to play around with the height of this spline a little bit too. I know I'm going to have to play around with the width, the height of the monorail itself, because when I converted it over from 19 to 22, the 22 train seems to be a little bit larger than the FS19 train was. So I had to upscale the monorail a little bit, and I was just guessing on how large to upscale it to. But we also don't have any triggers to test the monorail with. So that's why I want to get it in and running so we can put the home silo in, so we'll have triggers to test with the monorail. Yeah, but I really want to get my hands on the buildable, the scripts for the buildables. How does that look? That looks pretty centered. All right. One more curve to go. Well, one more curve for monorail 1. Monorail 2. If we can get this one running before I take a lunch break, maybe we'll get monorail 2 running after lunch. If we can get monorail 1 running. Just depends on how many hours of adjustments I have. Because I really want to start getting the mining in the map. That's the next time-consuming project, is the mining. And well, at some point tomorrow or Sunday, I have to get a couple of factories built. Oh crap, I gotta get Factory Friday released today. Well, Patreons aren't getting anything new this week. And then the rest of the players are not getting anything new next week. Gives me a week or two to gets me a week to get caught up and get 2 factories built. A little bit of gap in the tracks there, but I can fix that. Oop. I didn't want to hit the backspace button. I wanted to hit the insert button. Alright, let's get this guy hooked up with its start. We fairly straight we are. Let's get it lined up. With this guy. Fairly close. Pull it back a little bit. I'll put one more point. No, too far. That's right. I'll put one more point in there. Now, I can never remember. Is it O or is it C to close the loop? Okay, it's the letter O to close the loop. Alright, now we're going to take this guy. So we have it exactly where we want it. We're going to go File, Export Selectional Files. We're going to overwrite train 1. Now, I'm going to grab a quick sip of coffee. Alright, now we have to delete that from the map. Let's save it. Alright. Now, train system. Let's go back to... I should have kept that file open. Documents, My Games, Farm Sim 22, Angel Mountain, Placeables, Train System. I need to train 01 XML. So we're going to copy that over to here. Let's open this guy up. This will be train 1. Placeable train system, train 01. We have to switch up the cars. So we'll have to switch up these cars to the new monorail one. So I'll have to come back to this in a second. I'm also going to need, do I have my Placeables XML open for this map? You're the 4X map. I do. What are you? You are the 4X map. I can close you. I'm done with traffic splines. I'm working on bulk gold. It's not 100% done yet, so I need that open. And then the rest, okay, building shader, I can close, and then train 01. Alright. Let's grab Angel Mountain, Maps, Map US. Let's open up Placeables. I'm going to grab train 01 from here. I'm going to copy it into the new map. Let's put it down here. So we have train system train 01. It's going to be map directory maps. I'm sorry, Placeables train system train 01 XML. So that's correct. Position and rotation is all 0. So that is correct. Now, where else do I need to register it? I need to register it, I think, in the mod description. Do I have train system in here? Gas stations, selling stations. Placeables. Railroad silo. So I don't need it in the mod description. Do I need it in... So Angel Mountain, maps, map US. Do I need it in the map file? I do not need it in the map file. Do I need to register it in the store items? I do. So let's open up the store items for the new Forex map, maps, map US, store items. Alright, we're going to grab train 01 from here. We're going to throw it into here. And then I'm also going to need Locomotive 4, Wagon Sugar Beets, and I think Wagon Sugar Beets 2, 4X Placeables, Train System. Jay Booth, good morning. How are you? Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, I'm going to need Wagon Sugar Beets. I got to make a Wagon Sugar Beets 2. And then we're going to need Locomotive 04. So let me grab Locomotive 04. Let me copy this guy over to the new store data. And I got to adjust him a little bit. And then let me grab Wagon Sugar Beets. Let me copy him over to here as well. And then I think I can get rid of... I don't think I need anything else. Let me close that one so I don't accidentally make any changes to it. This guy we have to take out Locomotive 04, and then this guy we have to take out Wagon Sugar Beets, and I got to make one more. Copy that. Oh, that's wrong anyway. I got to fix that. And then this guy's going to be Sugar Beets 2. And then this is actually Train System, I think. Yes. Let me replace that. Copy. That has to get replaced. That has to get replaced. That has to get replaced. So that should be all the XML work done. No, not quite. Let's go back into here. Let's take this guy. We need to copy it. I need to paste it back in. This guy gets renamed Wagon Sugar Beets 2. And then this guy becomes Placeables Train System Wagon Sugar Beets 2i3D, because there's a front of the train and the back. There's a middle section of the train, and then there's the back of the train. The front of the train is the engine. The center section of the train is Sugar Beets 1, and then the Sugar Beets 2 is the back end of the monorail. So that should be good. Let me just double check. Wagon Sugar Beets, Placeables Train System, Wagon Sugar Beets. That one should be fine. And now let's check Locomotive 04, Placeables Train System, Locomotive 04. That should be fine. So let's go to Train 01. So we're going to go Placeables, Train System, and then it's going to be Locomotive 04. So we're going to put one locomotive on it. You can only have one. These guys I don't need. Wagon wood chips I don't need. You're going to be, let me copy this. Got to replace this, and we got to replace this, and then you're going to be Wagon Sugar Beets, and you're going to be Wagon Sugar Beets 2, and then we'll add more in this. We'll add more sugar beets cars in as soon as I get them lined up. Because once I spawn this into the game, they're not going to be lined up and they're not going to be the correct size. Alright, is that all the XML work done? Let me think. I don't need to do anything with the mod description. Placeable is XML, so the train system should spawn in. Alright, let's see if we got a working monorail. Now, it's going to look a mess. It's going to be all uneven and out of place, and none of the cars are going to line up. And that's what we're going to have to work on next. Unless I got really lucky, but I don't have that kind of luck. And then the cameras are going to be messed up, so we're going to have to readjust the cameras. We're going to have to readjust the player position. Let me turn this on so I can see warnings. Let's deselect all and just grab the Easy Dev Tools. Oh, I didn't put any radio collars in to stop the train. We got to get a radio collar in, or we're not going to be able to get into the monorail. I know the railroad crossings and the blockers are all messed up. That's fine. Let's see if this thing even spawns in. We're going to have to go right into flight mode. So I'm going to need flight mode on. I'm going to need a lot of speed, so I'm going to have to catch up to the train. Or to the monorail. Oh, how... No, I can't stop it because you can't get in it like you could with FS19. Without the radio collar. Or can I do switch to trains? Is there a switch to trains in 22? There is. Switch to trains was on. Will it let me in the train? It will not let me in the train. We're going to have to put a radio collar in so I can stop the monorail. So I need to stop it to see how lined up it is. And right now it's not very lined up and it's floating. The main engine is close. The other two cars need some work. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Let's get a radio collar in. So we can stop this guy. So let's jump back in here. Let's go File, Import. Let's bring Train 01 back in. Let's come over here. We're going to have to call the train over here. So let's grab the first radio collar. And we'll put it here. That should be everything I need. So let's go Train 01. Let's go File, Export Selection with Files. Let's overwrite Train 01. And then we'll delete Train 01 out. And let's jump back in here. Hopefully we can stop that thing, and then I can make some notes on how I need to adjust it to get it all lined up. So let's jump back in here. Let's deselect all. Let's grab just the Easy Dev tool. I'll let this load. And then we can get this lined up and running nice. take a lunch break, and after lunch we'll get the north monorail running. And I'm gonna have to dig the ground out a little bit. All right, so we should be able to come over here. Let's visit this radio caller. Oh, and it's okay. So that's not the one I want. Apparently not. All right, this. Why did that not? Oh, this guy. Okay, this is the one I want. Yeah, this is the one I want. Let me rent. Ooh, where's it at? Yeah, okay, so we rented the train, so it should stop. Let me go back into flight mode. I'll turn flight mode off once the train gets a little bit closer. But the train, now it should stop where I can actually get a really, really good look at it and be able to make some notes to line it up. Flight mode off. And I'm going to have to dig the ground down around the tracks. But on the upper level, I wanted him on ground level, like he's a real train. All right, now I can get in here. So the outside camera is not too bad. Indoor camera. Okay, the indoor camera's not bad either. Oh, I turned it around. Alright, so the indoor camera's not bad either. That's lined up pretty well. Alright, now, let me back it up. Let's get it on elevated track. Oh, now I need flight mode back on because I'm going to have to get it out of here so I could take a look at this guy. So let's turn flight mode back on. Oh, I missed the bottom one. Alright, let's make some notes on what I need to adjust. So the engine itself, let me take speed down. Alright, so the engine itself has to come down about a half an inch. Let me grab something to write on. So the locomotive has to come down about a half an inch. Alright, so the center section has to come forward a little bit. Has to come forward and then down about 3/4 of an inch. Oh crap, my paper just hit the floor. And then I gotta move. Oh, let me grab my note that just went flying on the floor. Alright. So the center section, I also have to remove the collar. Well, I'm going to have to remove the collar on 1. I'm going to have to make a wagon sugar beets 3. That's all right. And so that's going to have to come off. All right, so this guy, let me go up a little bit. So this guy has to come forward a little bit and down. Then the end car, so the sugar beet 2, has to come down about 3/4 of an inch. And it has to come forward about almost a full inch. Let's get out of here. Good to see you got the train from 19 to 22. And what's really cool about it, it's not going to haul passengers around. It's going to haul bulk goods around like coal and wheat if I can get it working right. So it's gonna run like it's basically going to be a train, but with a body of a monorail. All right, so I need to open up locomotive 4. So locomotive 4. Let me create a new camera because I don't want to mess up this camera. So let's create a new camera. Let's call it camera 2 just for now. And let's go view. I want to use camera 2 because I don't want to mess the outdoor camera up. Oh, let me take my speed down. Alright, let's zoom in here. Alright, so this guy has to come down about a half an inch. That's it. So this skin has to come down about a half an inch. So I'm going to come to here. And then this guy has to come down. Oh, why did that not move? This guy has to come down. Oh, not that much. Okay, we were at 2.52. Let me get a, let's throw a plane in here just for now. So I can see where it is compared to the ground. So this skin has to come down about... Why can't I drag this down? Why is it jumping that much? Let's do this the hard way. Instead of 2.52, let's just go to 2. And I'm going to save this. Well, let's get rid of the plane. Let's go back to our camera view, which was outdoor camera. Let's get rid of the extra camera. Let's save this and close this. That's going to get us close on the locomotive. Wagon Sugar Beets is the center car. And then I don't have to worry about the camera here because you can't get in this car, so there's no camera to mess up. So let me create a plane so I know where the ground sits. So this guy is high also. So let me grab the skin, which is this guy. I'm going to take him down to 2, so that's the same height as the engine. He also needed to come forward a bit. So let me bring him up this way a little bit. I may have to come back in and make another adjustment on him. And then this guy, for this particular train, I don't need, but if we add more sugar beet wagons on, I'm going to need one. I'm going to export this guy out for a minute. I'm just going to call it caller, just so I have a reference. Alright, so on this particular guy, I don't need him. So let's get rid of the plane and make sure this guy's at 0, 0, 0. Wait, why is his Z at 8? I'm going to leave him there for now. Let's save it. Now let's see if that guy may be close. Let's grab Sugar Beets 2. Is this guy offset? This guy's offset as well. Okay. So let's grab... let's create a plane just so I know where I am. And we'll have to delete it back out. just so I know where the ground is. Alright, so we're going to go to our visual. I'm going to take this guy down to 2 so they're all even. This guy also needed to come back about an inch. Oh, where's my gizmo? It's over there. So this guy has to come back. Let's bring him here. Let's go just a hair more. Let's bring him there. We may have to come back in and adjust it. So let's delete that out. Let's save this guy. Let's see what this looks like in game now. See if we got it lined up, or close to being lined up. And we'll see if the fill planes work. I don't have any triggers working, so I can't test it if it'll load or unload. Let's jump in here. Hello from Germany, Ice Cold 099. Thank you for stopping in, much appreciated. We are trying to get the monorail running. The monorail is the train in disguise. So let's jump in our map, and it was this radio collar up here. Let's visit this, and let's rent the train so it'll stop, and then we'll see how lined up it is. You have updated the Angel. There's going to be a... I'll have to look at my notebook. There's no new releases. The Patreon members get no new releases this week. Facebook will get what the Patreon members got last week, but I can't remember what that is without grabbing my notebook. So bear with me a second until I get this train fixed. There's going to be an Angel Mountain map with an update with every new placeable factory that comes out. But I can't remember what version. I think the Patreon's got version 1.11. So 1.11 should get released at some point tonight or later today. And then I'm working on version 1.12, but only Dixie and I will have 1.12 until we get 2 new factories built. But yeah, give me a second to get the train fixed. I'll look at my notes. Oh, this guy might... Oh, no, the center car's still a little bit too high. Let's jump in here. So the center car is going to still be a little bit too high. Let's see how the... I want to get him off the land and onto the track. And then I'm going to have to jump into back into flight mode. So let's jump back into flight mode. Alright, how lined up is this guy? Alright, so now... perfect. I think the engine is perfect. Yeah, the engine's perfect. The back... So the center car's got to come down a hair. Yeah, center car's got to come down a hair. Back car's going to come down a hair, but not much. Oh, the center car's got to come down more than the back car. So he's got to come down a little bit. I got to bring him down a little bit and back. He's got to come down and back. And then this guy's got to get slid forward. So let me grab my note. So locomotive is good. No changes there. The center car's got to come down a little bit. And then the back car's got to come down a little bit. And then still he's got to come forward a little bit more. So let's get out of here. Your time is running. You got 5 minutes. Let me grab my notebook here really quick and see what I have lined up for the Patreons. As soon as I figure out what notebook it is. Alright, so on the 18th, which was last Friday, Facebook got the Smokehouse and Angel version 1.10. So the Patreons last week got the Pasta Factory and Angel Mountain V1.11. So this week, the Patreons get nothing new. Facebook will get the Smokehouse and Angel Mountain 1.10. And then next Friday, the Patreon members will get something new, but Facebook, nobody else will get anything new next week. So the Smokehouse and Angel Mountain 1.11 will come out at some point when I'm done streaming. Probably around dinner time. Pasta Factory and 1.11 will be out at some point later today, and the updated sell point, placeable sell point. Alright, so let's get back into here. So the locomotive was fine. So Schwagen Sugar Beets. This guy has to come down a little bit. So if I go into here, so it's at 2. Let's go 1.8. Oh crap, did that take it down or did that take it up? Let's go back to 2. 1.8 should be lower. It is. Let's go 1.8. We'll see if that's enough. And what else did I have to do with him? He just had to come down a little bit. Let's save that guy. And then the Sugar Beets 2, which is the back of the train. Yeah, so I needed a 1 week break with anything new so I can get caught up on building some new factories. Alright, so this guy also has to come down a little bit and come forward a little bit. So he's at 2. Let's go to 1.9. We'll see if that's going to be enough. And then he still has to come back a little bit to fill that gap. So let's save this guy and close it. The middle had to go back a little. Okay, so the middle, that had to go back a little bit. So let's pull this guy back up. We'll slide him back just a hair. So this guy here has to go back just a little bit. We'll see if that does it. Let's do a save. And we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to have to jump back in game. What do I have open? Just a map, just a map. All right. Because the monorail is going to run along, the monorail is going to run through all of the mines, so you can load the mines directly into the monorail. I'm going to try and get the monorail to run through every trigger for every factory we build into this map. And then it's going to run above the home farm, and I'm going to put triggers on it so you can unload the monorail into the home farm, which is the center of the map. But I'm not going to use the silo script. It's going to use the bulk warehouse script, so you can set it to distribute. Let's do the same thing. Let's grab our map. Let's call this, let's go... visit this guy, and we'll rent a train. Now we'll see how lined up this guy is. Now I do have a little bit of work to do on the mountains. The mountains are still roughed in. And then I need to dig this down. Once I get the train lined up, I'll see how far I have to dig this down. It just depends on where the triggers for the factories lie. Center section is still a little bit too high. Width-wise, it's lined up just about perfect. So the center section just has to come down a little bit more. And I think it's going to be perfect. It's going to be spot on, actually. And I don't even have to dig the land down. It can run just exactly where it is. So let's just bring the center guy down a little bit further. Let's jump in here a minute. Let's go back to the second car. Can I get my camera to zoom back a little bit? I can. Can I come back a little bit further? I can. We're going to be at a weird angle for a minute. I'm going to grab the Easy Dev tool. Let's go to Vehicles. Crap, I don't know if I can cheat stuff into the train. Let's just grab some wheat and see what happens. Nope. Oh, it did. Now the fill plane's too high. Now I got to adjust the fill plane. Okay, so once I get the cars adjusted, I got to come back in and adjust the fill planes. I completely forgot about the fill planes. All right, so let's take care of that first. Let's take care of both of them at the same time. So this guy's going to have to come down a hair, and then we got to adjust the fill planes. All right, let's get out of here. I forgot about the fill planes. Grumpy Old Marine, hello. Thank you for stopping in. Much appreciated. Hope you don't have to do the same thing with the normal train that I'm putting in my map. Well, I decided I don't need the map open. I decided that I wanted to use the monorail instead of the train. Alright, so Wagon Sugar Beets has to come down a little bit further. So I'm going to take this guy. This guy's at 1.8. Let's go to 1.7. If that's not enough, we'll come back in and drop him down. Let me grab the fill volume. So this guy's going to have to come back down. So it's not sticking out of the car. And then how is he front and back? He's got to get slid up a little bit. Yeah, that should work. Let's save that one. Let's close that one. And then Sugar Beet 2, we have to adjust the fill volume. So we got to come into here. We got to go to fill volume. Oop, missed it. Yep, we got to adjust this guy now. I forgot we adjusted the car, and I had the fill volume set at the height of the car. Alright, so that should be good there. Well, let me bring him down just a hair further. Alright, that should be good. Let's save that. Let's jump back in the map. I'm going to have to create one more center car with an extra collar, but I'll show you that in a minute. Because we want to make the train longer. So let's open this up. So let's jump back into here. I'm going to grab just the Easy Dev Tools. So it loads a little bit quicker. And then we're going to do the same thing. Let me jump in here, rent this train. And we'll just wait for it to show up. Now that the train's in place, we can start getting the mining in. Well, I got to get the second monorail in. But we got the hard part done now because all we got to do is finish the tracks and then put the spline in, which we'll do after lunch. I'll work on Beach Row off camera because I've got to rearrange almost all of Beach Row. So I'll probably do a lot of that off camera. With the normal train, is there a way to change the color? You can in Blender, but it's really hard to change outside of Blender. I'll show you as soon as we get out of the game of what the texture file looks like. It's almost impossible to change the color of the train not using Blender. So how lined up are we now? Still a little high. Nope, almost perfect. Nope, still a little high. Well, now the back car has to come up a little bit. So let's check our white stripe. So the front car, or is my size off a little bit? So this guy has to come down just a hair. I think the size is off. I got to readjust our back car. How did I get the height wrong? Let's go and look at the height. I think the height of that back car is wrong. Let's go in and look at that. Yeah, let me show you the texture file. It's really ugly. So I had to pull it out of the base game map. Did I save it? I may have. Let's go into train system, textures. Oh, I don't have it. Let me here. We can go in the hard way. So, go into this PC. Go into program files, Steam, Steam apps, common, Farm Sim 22, data, vehicles, train system. I thought it was under vehicles. Thought it was under vehicles. Data, Farm Sim 22, data, maybe it's under maps. Nope. Data, I thought it was under vehicles. Then there should be a train system file. Oh, train. So there's train, locomotive 04. This is what your texture file looks like. Good luck on recoloring that. It's easier done in Blender, which I don't know how to use Blender. But if you could figure out a way to recolor that, I couldn't. But that's what your texture file looks like and how you can find it. Alright, placeables, train system. Let's go to, I'm going to pull the locomotive up. I want to see the size of my skin versus the size of my skin on the last one. Oh, I got to put a new camera in here because I don't want to mess my camera up. Let's create a new camera. Actually, I don't have to. We're not going to move the camera. All right, so this guy is 1.3, 1.33, 1.3, 1.545. Let's go to Sugar Beet 2. He didn't look tall enough. So Sugar Beet 2, 1.33, 1.2, 1.54. That little bit shouldn't matter. Let's go 1.545. Nope. That moved him. Why is he shorter than the other guy? Well, let me do this. Let's create a plane. Hold on. Let's go in here a minute. This guy's perfect. I don't want to mess him up. Let me close him. Let's create a plane. So I have a flat surface. Well, I'll give it a go. Can't do any worse than giants. That is true. Let's go File, Import. I'm going to import Locomotive 04. So why are they not the same height? So why is this skin? I'm going to slide Locomotive 04 forward a little bit so my stripes line up. So why is this guy shorter? So we got to make him a little bit taller. So he matches the front locomotive. What number's changing? My center number's changing. Alright. So now I can just step him up slowly. And I can get him lined up with this guy. So let's pull this guy up a little bit. Let's go 1.26. The green or the white stripe is about perfect. He's got to go a little bit taller. So let's go 1.28, 1.29, 1.3, 1.3, and I got to pull him up a little bit. I think that'll do it. So let's delete this guy out, and let's get rid of the plane. Let's save this guy. Now we should be almost perfect. And then we're going to have to build one more train so I can add more center cars in. And we'll check the fill planes. And then after lunch, we'll get the second monorail in. Alright, let's grab our map. Let's grab our collar. We'll rent a train, wait for it to show up. We should be super close. I love the new mountains in the background. We'll be able to get our boat splines running around the map. A little bit of work to do on the mountains. Home farm is almost done. I want to add a water tower and a water fill trigger. We won't have to mess with this one once we put the second train in. All we got to do is put the track in and put the spline down. All the adjustments will be done. That is, other than the gap being off just a hair, which I'm not going to mess with, that is about perfect. Let's jump in here, zoom this camera out as far as I can go. We'll give it a little wiggle. Let's go, let's just fill it with wheat. Oh, perfect. That's the exact look I was going for. So once you fill it, you're going to have your car full of whatever products in it. So if I go F12, oh, you can only sheet in one car. I can't switch cars. Oh, I can. I'll come up here. Let me switch vehicles up here. Let's switch to the center one. Let's come back in here. Let's throw like coal or ore or something in there. Copper. Perfect. The exact look I was looking for. And then we'll be able to deliver the bulk around the map. I just wanted it to be a train, but I didn't want it to look like the train. Oh, that is going to be awesome. Let's see what it looks like elevated. Now I need a screenshot. I gotta get a screenshot. I love the mountains in the background. I love the new background. Let's grab a screenshot. Let me zoom in. I won't have to get into flight mode. I can actually see how lined up that train is now. Yeah, she's about perfect. She is definitely about perfect. Alright, let's take her for a ride since we're in here. How many? I haven't adjusted the liters per car yet. I just wanted to get it working. We'll probably do, what's a good number? I was thinking 1 million liters per car, but y'all let me know what you want it set at. And then we're going to have a nice flat train crossing on the road. And we're going to have to speed it up a little bit. I haven't done that yet either. What I'm going to do is, oh, that center car, that fill plane has to come down just a little bit. It's sticking through the roof of the vehicle. So that's got to come down a hair. We have to make one more car so we can make it a little bit longer. Yeah, we definitely have to speed this guy up a little bit. Nicky Fizz, how many liters per car are you thinking? So another train crossing there. Oh yeah, this is exactly how I wanted it to look. And then we'll have our beach row over here. 1 million sounds pretty good. All right. Let's go. Let's get out of here, make some adjustments. Let's couple more tweaks, and I'm gonna get out of here for lunch. All right. I'm gonna go into. Let's keep this open a minute. Train system, locomotive 04. Let's go into the train on the Angel Mountain map's been sped up. I think I'm just going to steal that XML. Let's go documents, my games, Farm Sim 22, mods, Angel Mountain, placeables, train system, no, placeables, train, and then locomotive 04. There's the texture, which I don't even need in here. But locomotive 04, let's look at this XML. That's the current one. This one is the one. Why did that not open? Hold on. Oh, because I have locomotive 04 open over here. So that's the current one. This is the one from that Smurf and I sped up for the Angel Mountain map. We got to change the mass, and I've got to change the speed, and we changed a whole bunch of stuff. So what I'm going to do, let's close that. Let's close that for a minute. I'm going to take this locomotive 04 XML. I'm going to just drop it here for now in case I mess it up. I'll have a copy of it. We're going to grab this guy. We're going to copy it. We're going to throw it into here. I got to change its path. It's going to be placeables. Placeables. So it's going to be placeables train system. Placeables train system locomotive 04. So that's going to be the path for the i3D. This should be the sped up version of the train. Let me close the Angel Mountain map so I don't accidentally make any changes to that guy. Let's go into Wagon Sugar Beets. It should be set to Train Wagon, which is fine. Let's go 1000000. So 1 million liters. We got to, and then we got to change the empty speed 20,000. All right, so that's Wagon Sugar Beets. Wagon Sugar Beets 2, we got to do the same thing. So this becomes 1 million liters, 20,000. Oop, not 2,000. 20,000 on the unload speed. Did I set this one correctly? I did. All right, now we need one. So to make the train any longer, let's open up Wagon Sugar Beets. To make the train a little bit longer, I have to add a collar in because right now there's no collar on the front and there's no collar on the back. So if I add a second train in, there's going to be a gap between the cars. So I'm going to go File, Export Selection with Files. We're going to call this Wagon Sugar Beets 3. And we are going to save it. I'm going to close this one. Let's look at Wagon Sugar Beets 3 a second. Make sure the textures are not messed up, and they're not. Let's open this guy. We need Wagon Sugar Beets 3. Let me copy this guy. Let's paste it in. Let's rename it. This guy becomes Sugar Beets 3. Before I forget, let's go into our store data. Let's copy this. Let's paste it in. So this becomes Sugar Beets 3. Let's save that a second. Let's open up. What do I have open? Just the map. I'm going to close the map for now because we don't need to do anything in the map till after lunch. We'll get the second monorail running after lunch. All right, let's jump back in here. So Sugar Beets 3. We have to add a collar on the back, or there's going to be a gap. No, I have to add the collar on the front. Hold on. Let me look at Sugar Beets 2 for a minute. Where's the collar on Sugar Beets 2? Is it on the? It's on the front. So I got to put the collar on the front of this guy. So let's go File, Import. I got to put the collar back on this guy. Let's go Edit, Cut, and Paste. So this guy needs to get lined up on the front section, or there's going to be a gap between the cars. He's got to meet. I got to make him bigger. Let me take my speed down. It's driving me nuts. All right, this collar is now too small, so he's got to go a little bit bigger. Taller. There. How is he on the width? Width is about perfect. All right, he just needs to go a little bit taller. This should do it. Let's see what this looks like when we add this extra car in. So let's save this guy, and we will close it. Now we got to go to our train. Oh, I got to fix two things. Sugar Beets 3 has to refer to the Sugar Beets 3 car. So let's save that. It should be at 1,000,000. It is, so that's fine. Now we go into Train 01, and between Sugar Beets, wrong one. Let me close that gap. So between Sugar Beets and Sugar Beets 2, we can add as many of the center cars in as we want. Let's add 2 in for now, and we'll see what that looks like. So this has to be Sugar Beet 3. This has to be Sugar Beet 3. Let's save it. Let's see what that looks like. And then we can decide if we want to make it a little bit longer or not by adding 1 or 2 more cars onto it. And then I'm going to get out of here for about an hour. I will definitely be back. I completely cleared my schedule to do nothing but work on the map Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with the exception of either Saturday or Sunday. I have to build 2 new factories. I could build one Saturday and one Sunday, but other than that, my time is dedicated strictly to this map, because when I go back to work on Monday, I'm scheduled for 6 days, 6 9-hour days in a row. So I'm not going to get anything done next week. So let's grab this guy and see what the longer train looks like. Let's rent it, and we'll just have to wait for it to show up. So yeah, this 4-day weekend is nice, but next week's going to suck. And I'm going to check the log to see if we're throwing any errors. And we'll see if we have to adjust that new sugar beet wagon a little bit. Let's pull him forward a little bit. We'll piss the cars off. We'll park it right on the traffic light. Well, the train signal's not in, so the cars should go right through the train. We don't have the crossing signals in yet. Let's jump out of here, and we'll see what this guy looks like. Yep, and so now we've got to adjust the gap between these guys. So, sugar beet, let me think. This is sugar beet 2, this is sugar beet 3. This guy is sugar beet 3. So we have to make him a little bit longer and to fill that gap. So he needs to be about an inch longer on the front. No, we can stretch him out and center him and make him about an inch longer on both sides. Alright, so sugar beet 3, let's jump back out of here. It's got to be made about an inch longer. So let's go back into sugar beet 3. And then we just got to take this guy. It's got to be about an inch longer, which is what number? Bottom number. So we were at let's go to 1.645. We'll see if that's going to do it. And then I got to pull this guy out, which is the collar between the cars. Let's save that. This is sugar beet 3, it is. Let's save that, and let's see if that does it. See if that fills our gap. And then we got to see if we want to change this color of the monorail. Maybe we'll do a red stripe instead of a green stripe. Green is my favorite color, though. Alright, how is that going to look? Back over here. Let's rent this guy. See if we have to make him a little bit bigger or not. We could go into flight mode and catch up to him. We'll just hang out. Once we come up with, well, I've got 2 different names for the map I'm thinking about. I'm not sure which one it's going to be yet. But maybe we'll recolor the monorail after we come up with the name for the map. Now, does that fill the gap? No, we've got to make them just a little bit bigger. No, I got to make him a little bit bigger and slide him forward just a hair. A little bit bigger and forward a hair. Alright, so back to Sugar Beet 3. Alright, so he's got to go a little bit bigger. A little bit longer, I should say. So we are at 1. Let's go 1.7. He's got to be slid forward, and it will slide the collar forward. And we'll see if that does it. Let's save that. I'm going to leave it open because we can come back in and make another adjustment. Jump back in here. I wanted to check the log too for errors, which I keep forgetting to do. So this map is going to go back to representing the Ritchie family, which the original Ritchieville did. So we're going to have like Donald's Energy, Eleanor's Castle Cafe. It's going to have all my aunts and uncle, my mom, and then all my aunts and uncles back in. Rent a train. I really love how those background mountains converted over. Hopefully we got it right this time. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fillable cars on it. I'm thinking maybe one more center section. Let's pull this guy up a little bit and see how lined up he is. See, I'm thinking one more center section. I don't think I need to make him any larger. I think I just need to slide him forward a little bit more. Nope, yeah, so now the gap is off here. So I gotta make him a little bit smaller. Yeah, I gotta make him a little bit smaller and slide him forward. So a little bit shorter, and we gotta slide him forward. The mountains, yeah, the mountains actually look pretty cool. I was surprised they converted over that easily from 19 to 22. All right, so this guy, we need to go back a little bit smaller. So let's go back to 1.65. And then we've got to pull him forward. Let's pull the collar a little bit forward. All right, let's save that. It's the only way to get this thing fixed. Is I have to see what it looks like in game. I was surprised that the textures in the shader converted over that well from 19 to 22. This will be the last adjustment, and I'm going to grab lunch. And if I have to make any more adjustments, I'll get them. I'll get it fixed before I come back from my lunch break. I'm sure you guys and gals are tired of seeing me coming in and out of the game, trying to get this monorail adjusted. So I want to get the second one running. And once we get the second one running, then we can fix the silo at the main farm and test the triggers. Then we can get the coal mine in and test the triggers. Hope this guy's lined up. And then once I get it lined up, I'm going to try and add one more train car in. So what do you look like? Nope. And still, the gap between them is still messed up. Let me jump in there and pull him forward. So this is Wagon Sugar Beet 2. That one's fine. This one is Wagon Sugar Beet 3. And there's no gap in between. So what happened? That gap there is fine between Sugar Beet 3 and Sugar Beet 3. This gap here between Sugar Beet 3 and Sugar Beet 2 is fine. Sugar Beet 3 can come back a little bit. That'll open up that gap, and it's going to open up that gap there. So I gotta make him a little bit shorter. Actually, I was going the wrong way. I gotta make him a little bit shorter and slide him back. Yeah, I gotta go a little bit shorter and slide him back. I was going the wrong way. One more shot, and then I'm gonna grab lunch. Alright, so he's got to go a little bit shorter. So let's go to 1.5. And then he's got to get slid. Oh, wrong one. That was the collar. This guy has to go a little bit shorter. Let's go 1.6. I may not even have to slide him back. Let's pull the collar back. Let's pull him back just a hair. And then we'll pull the collar back a little bit. And I'll save that. Let's see what that does. Yeah, I completely looked at that wrong. I was adjusting it the wrong way. Now I'm going to have to completely rebuild the silo for the home farm. So I want it to run off of the factory script and not the silo script. So it's going to be just like the bulk warehouse. But it's going to be built onto the main farm. Map, train caller, Oh, gotta rent it. There we go. Mountains need a little bit of work. That's at 2 a.m. I can't sleep job. Like these mountains, not the background mountains. Oh, my throat sinuses are killing me. All right, did I fix the gap or did I make it look worse? Now that's much better. Nope, it's got to come back a hair. It's got to come back some. Still got to come back some. Um, I've got to make it just a hair longer and pull it back. All right, one more. I know. One more. Since I'm here and I'm not eating, let's just get it done. All right, so it's got to go. This guy's got to go back a little bit longer. So let's go back to 1.65. Crap. Which way did it have to go? Forward or back? Has to go back a little bit. Let's try that. No, the collar. There was a. Oh, by making this a little bit longer. Yeah, let's try that. I really am going to take lunch this time, no matter whether it's fixed or not. It's like, sure, you said that the last 6 tries. You ain't going to eat. This is the last try because I do need a potty break. Did I take it the correct direction or did I take it the wrong direction? So if I take a really long lunch, it's because I'm messing with the train. So after lunch, we'll be getting the second monorail in. Then I want to get the water tower and the water filter on the main farm before I forget about it. I want to get that off the list. Then we'll mess around with getting the home silo built and running. I don't know if we'll get to the coal mine today. I highly doubt it. How do our gaps look between the cars this time? I think I'm gonna live with it. Let's pull this guy forward and walk around the train a little bit. I know how it is when you get started on something and you just don't want to let it. I just want to get like this off my to-do list. Like I want these cars to be lined up perfect so I don't have to mess with them again. Sugarby 2 actually has to slide forward a hair. And that'll open up that gap a little bit. Yeah, so Sugarby 2 I need to slide forward just a slight bit. Maybe not. Let's see what this guy looks like going around the turns. Let me take the camera out as far as I can. And then maybe we'll get the crossing signals in today too. Once we get the second monorail in. So how is this guy going to look going around the turns? I mean, for a fake train, I don't think too bad. Oh, right there. Hold on, I want a screenshot. Like right there. Stop. Let me turn the map off. Let me turn the F1 off. Oh yeah, right there. Hold on, I want a screenshot. Like right there. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Do I want to mess with it or do I want to leave it? I think I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I don't want. The only thing I'm gonna do to it now is add one more train car in the center, just to make it a little bit longer. To say, yeah, the train crossings. I hate train crossings. All right, so let's do this real quick. Let's grab the dev tool. So let's go. What do we want? Let's go oats in the first train car. Let's go with. Let's do grapes in the second train car. Let's do wrong one. Let's do copper, and then we can go back one more. We can go back one more. Let's do. Let's look at the new gold. I'm working on bulk gold. There's your oats. All right. There are your. Oh, I gotta mess with that fill plane. Oh, I gotta slide the fill plane forward a little bit on locomotive 3. The fill plane has to come forward a little bit. All right, so there's your great. Oh, this thing looks awesome. This is doing exactly what I wanted to do. There's your copper. There's your bulk gold. I'm still messing around with that texture. It's not quite done yet. And then I got to get a driver in that seat, and I got to get a driver in the front of the train. So all I got to do is slide. Oh, this. I hold on. I need another screenshot now. The only thing I want to do is slide that fill plane forward a little bit. So right in here, I completely forgot about. We adjusted the car and never fixed the fill plane. So it has to come down just a hair and forward. Oh, it's got to go a little bit longer. Let me just split the difference for now. Now that should be good. That should be good. I can always adjust it if we have to. Let me save that. Let me close that so I have no i3ds open. Let me check the log really quick, and then I'm going to get out of here for lunch. And then after lunch, we have a second monorail to get in. That's a Giants issue. That is because I don't have the BJ in the map yet. That's because I don't have the train crossings in. Oh, what is this? Oh, screenshots. Okay, so that's fine. That's through a error because I took screenshots. duplicate 110 entry for the farmhouse. Oh, the caravan. I got to pull the caravan out of the map files. And then that's a mod. All right, we're good. I'm going to throw you all an ending soon. We are pretty much error-free. I'm going to close all the extra XMLs I don't need open until we're ready to make more adjustments. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. I'm going to leave the fill types open. I'm going to leave the density height types open because I'm still working on gold. Appreciate everybody stopping in. And if you don't come back, or if I don't come back, y'all have a great day. I plan on coming back. Give me about an hour. And I want to get this second monorail in. So hopefully I'll catch y'all in an hour. Thank y'all.